Yeah, I do like the Phoveus pick up there, especially in an answer for that Wanwan. Even in the late game, just able to rain down so much damage. It's going to be interesting to see how they go into it. We are starting off at game 1 here, though. The Valley taking on Vendetta to see who's moving on in the top bracket. And I know fans, this is what the match that a lot of people came here to see.
Yeah, I mean, this is a crucial match to say the least, right? They're fighting for that first grand final spot. Not only does that come with its own, triumphs and tribulations, the fact that you will be possibly the team to represent NA in M4, which is, obviously everybody's goal here. And to say too that, you're a champion of the NACT. This is where it all starts up here. And at the same time, you can say too, whatever team does get defeated here, at least they have another shot, right? At least there's a potential there to crawl back into the grand final. But still, I think a lot can be said for teams that fight in the upper brackets, the upper bracket semifinals. They have a lot going for them. And at the same time, it does show just how the game plan, how strong they can be with whatever composition they're playing with, because honestly, the Valley, they've showed, I don't want to say a different team comp or style each time, but for the most part, they've shown something that their play style is very, you could call it out. This is the Valley, right? And a lot of people, that's what they like to see. So that's what I want to see from Vendetta personally, because the Valley has coasted up to this point. Now I want to see Vendetta to actually kind of be that roadblock for the Valley. Like, you got to get over us and see how that outplays here.
Yeah, and it's going to be a roadblock indeed, especially as we move into this first turtle. Both teams kind of like, and you were saying, the Valley does have a very great flexibility with this current meta. They are able to use just a maximum amount of characters. We do see that Feathered Airstrike being used to kind of push back Phoveus, so he's not going to be here for this fight. Pogi trying to get lined up here. Is he going to be able to capture this turtle? Takes it on. We see the Cult Ultra coming out, but the damage. Here comes the Feathered Airstrike of their own from Hoon, is going to be able to save his player there, and basic gets cleaned up by Yuri there. So a great pickup by there. 1-1. Both teams at an even point here right now, but that turtle did go over to the side of Vendetta. You see Super Shark coming up to this, is not going to be able to catch the Fanny at this point.
I love it. I love that, Poggy captured, like you said, the turtle is like playing Pokemon here, right? Is able to grab that turtle, secure it for the team. Basic did grab a kill. I believe that was the 1v1 fight on the top side, took out Yuna, but then Yuri able to come and get a kill. That is going to be crucial though, because again, you want these early kills on this Fanny as much as possible to set that kind of jungle pace going against, MOBA Zane here, because they're both actually going to be packing damage early on mid game. But again, if Yuri's able to grab that early setup, that's going to be beneficial for them.
Yeah, you see that Numenon Blast coming down, and pretty interesting there. Super Shark did come in with that Shadow Stampede, dragged Leo. Might have been a miss, or just might have been not the plan you wanted, because that put Yuri in a great position for his Numenon Blast to land onto Hoon. So we need to be very careful about how we're setting up these pulls from that Shadow Stampede, because you don't want to be taking roams and putting them in the middle of your pack or putting them to your most vulnerable players.
Hold up. I just realized too. See, this is my morning brain working here. Yuri's not even jungling, right? Like, when have we seen this with Fanny? I mean, also rolling, just what lane is he in? He's playing XP. Is that XP Fanny?
Yes.
XP Fanny. Okay, hold on.
Numenon Blast bamboo set up here. Cult Ultra comes out, but down comes the Feathered Airstrike. Basic gets taken down by Yuri there, followed by Pogi getting taken out as well. They might be in a little bit of trouble here. Here comes the Demonic Force onto Leo. Does catch a kill for Fried Chicken. This is going to open up a great position for the side of the Valley, but up at the top, you do see Yuna and Yuri able to go ahead and answer that, counter it with a turret of their own. So I almost want to say that this kind of goes in the favor of Vendetta, since they have opened up that map but cost themselves a death and a turtle.
So has this happened? This must have happened before with Yuri. I think maybe he's played XP Fanny before. I'm just not used to seeing it myself, right? But so far it's working out. It allows him to pretty much roam the map as much as possible and not just have to sit there and fight, you know, Phoveus.
Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, we do have an offer for you guys. Tag a friend on Facebook or type hashtag NACT fall season in the NACT Esports Discord or on Facebook for your chance for a unique gift code. We do see a little bit of an action happening here. Numenon Blast coming down, Feathered Airstrike down, MLBB able to take out Yuna, and we see Theo with his own Numenon Blast does not connect, and they gotta walk. You do see that the Valley's been able to walk away with one kill of their own. It is 4-2 right now. Gold still tied. I do like that Vendetta still keeping up the farm, especially with Pogi on this Belmont, keeping it up even though they are starting to kind of slip a little bit behind when it comes to the kills.
If Theo had the flicker there, that would have been a perfect flicker Numenon Blast setup. And not sure if they would have been able to capitalize off that, but a couple members of the Valley were low. So it could have been a different story there, but you know, the Valley able to come out on top of that now, still as everything's going to kind of come into place here, simmer down until I feel like that next hurdle.
Oh, what a bait, though, as you do see that Numenon Blast coming out and the Feathered Airstrike as well, trying to put on the damage, but unfortunately, Vendetta cannot capitalize on it. I love the play there, but MLBB taking out Yuri up at that bottom second tier tower there. Yuna trying to put on the damage onto Shark, who's going to try to clear up this lane, and Shiki gets taken out by MLBB as well. It is 6-2, and this game starting to edge ever so carefully as we head into the 7-minute mark. We talked about this before. This is when the Valley likes to kind of start putting on that gas and pedal to the metal. Yuna taking a whole heap of damage. And we do see Fried Chicken going in. Pogi able to take out the turret. The Numenon Blast comes down right now, but MLBB picks up the kill onto Theo right now. It is a 7-2 game, a 1K gold lead for the side of the Valley.
Man, it just, I mean, and just like that, in what, a couple minutes, things kind of just turn in favor of the Valley, like even more. I mean, things were pretty even, but in a matter of a couple minutes, now the gold lead is there. The kills are there on the right people. MLBB getting 2 massive kills for himself. Again, this makes me wonder, you know, the Fanny side lane pick, right? How useful can it be mid to late game, right? Do you start giving up that buff? Of course, you know, the Ballman doesn't necessarily need the blue buff, and you could eventually give it away to Yuri here, but, you know, how will that all play out for him? I think that's a big question, but already Poggy.
Yeah, and a little bit of trouble there is going to get taken out by the duo of MLBB and Fried Chicken. And, I mean, maybe potentially you give the blue buff to Shiki. You start letting him start getting that cooldown to where you have about a 9 or 12 seconds cooldown on that Feathered Airstrike as you reach into the late game. But I mean, you're going to have to get into a position for that. You can't just keep on giving it away here. You have to think about this mid game, which right now the Valley is very dominant in. Had a little bit of trouble in the beginning. You see Fried Chicken here getting kind of tossed around with Yuri kind of zipping around him with those cables. But like you said, at the end of the game, what is Yuri going to be doing? Possibly maybe split pushing to kind of help with that as we move into the team fights that might be favoring the Valley more.
Yeah, it's something that I want to see play out. Just hopefully a mid to late game to see how that's really utilized. Obviously, it's something that's unique to Yuri and that he's willing to bring to the table. But right now, the Valley is just slowly but surely building on that gold lead. First Lord of the game is going to come up here. They are trying to get in position, set everything up. They do push these lanes a little bit. Now, the tier 1 turrets are still going to be up in the mid lane. That's going to be fine because, I mean, right now they control this space. They have that little bit of an advantage. I don't think there's going to be any contest for this first Lord of the game that is secured by basic. So the Valley takes it, but here on the top side,
MLBB just pushed into that bulwark, not doing anything to help out Theo. Shiki gets taken out by Mainhoon. What an absolute crazy amount of damage on that Valentina, and this is the problem with that Valentina and why she is still a threat, even with the most recent nerfs on her. We do see that the rest of the Valley starting to push in here. The machine that is the Valley. Lord coming in, but still pushing on these towers at the bottom as well. Phobius with a parade of minions. You do see that Fanny's going to go ahead and try to cut that off, but we are pushing onto this mid tower. We see that AoE come out to clear out the minions, but it's not enough to save the tower. Theo in a little bit of trouble. Bulwark does not save him again. Shiki in trouble. A little bit of health left on him as the Lord is crashing in, swinging away at the tower. Hoon gets picked off by Yuri there. So a great defense. They do lose a tower as well, but you see down here, Fried Chicken is going to go ahead, put the damage onto here, is maybe trying to find, is going to have to create some space between him and this Fanny. Unfortunately, the Valley accomplished their task, got 2 towers for that non-luminous Lord.
Yeah, I mean, that was a kind of a funny interaction there. I think Shark like popped the Colt Altar, but Hoon was already dead. You know, and Yuri grabbing that kill. So it's like he stood there like, what? Anyway, so the base is cracked over to the mid lane for Vendetta. I do want to say that, I mean, this is a situation that they can slowly crawl back into, but still, like I was saying, what does Yuri do here, right? I mean, look what's happening with against Fried Chicken. You're trying to plant yourself in that lane, push things out, but unfortunately, he's just there, right? Fried Chicken is just, that's what he has to do. He's just going to plant himself there. That tier 2 is not going to go down yet. They're just going to continue to buy some time here until the next Lord comes up, unless they can grab another kill like this. Mobazane, man, 7-0-3. I think the guy heard me talk about, you know, that jungle centric play style he likes to have and the tank junglers and everything. But he's like, you know, I got the Paquito and he's 7-0-3. But I got to say, he's punching through Theo's shields too. So I feel like at the same time, Theo hasn't actually been able to utilize that Lolita pick the way that they wanted to. The idea that they had, it's not working out for them. And slowly but surely, you're looking at a 6K gold lead for the Valley. And at this point, you know, Basic doesn't even have to do much because he can just continue to farm up. Now, that's a scary thing because if the game does drag on for some reason, eventually Basic will be exactly where he needs to be on the Clint, right? Pumping out the damage. And this is the thing about Yuri, again, the Fanny. You can get attention to yourself, you can put pressure on the map, but at the end of the day, what are you actually doing for the team? Like, what are you doing for the team in terms of skirmishes and team fights and these objectives? Are you actually going to be there, or is your sole job to just sit in a lane and push it out?
Yeah, and that is interesting too, because you are trying to kind of bait out. You're trying to be a nuisance, but the Valley just too smart for that. They're not going to chase a Fanny. They're not going to waste those demonic forces on a Fanny. They're just going to ignore it, especially at a point where right now they are so many levels behind. Not even a contest for this Lord. Theo at level 11 right now. Mobazane already maxed out, so this is a 4-level gap for them, and it's no wonder. Oh my God, Basic got eaten alive by Yuri there. So I mean, we're talking about the use of Yuri, but still able to find those positions, still able to find those picks, especially with the Luminous Lord. So it's going to be a 4v5 as they try to push into this base. We do see the Lord starting to come in, going to go through this gap here in the middle. And do we have lane synced up? We don't have the bottom lane synced up, so we are going to go ahead and take up this top tower. Numina Blast does come in, catches the entire team right now. Helen is going to go ahead and try to flicker out of the way. Demonic Force still raining down damage onto Vendetta. More Flame Shot comes out. Another Demonic Force takes out Yuna here right now. They are trying to push their way in. Yuri able to pick up the kill onto Shark right now. The rest of the Valley have taken. They're going to go ahead and disengage, but they got a tower and picked up a kill from the side of Vendetta.
Okay, I like to call that the caster curse, right? Asking what is Yuri's use? So he gets a kill on Basic, and then they actually do a great job defending here. And, you know, with him being close to the fountain in the base, this allows him to just go ahead, go back and forth, try to pick up some kills here. Now, yeah, the Demonic Force is still something to deal with, to handle with. But, you know, if Yuri can actually continue to do this, then maybe that buys them more time to turn the game around in their favor. But right now, in the jungle they go.
Yeah, you see that Feathered Airstrike coming down. Theo does get taken out. We have that Cult Altar activated, and the rest of Vendetta is going to have to disengage. Demonic Force taking Chicken deep into enemy lines. He is going to think twice about continuing on that press. But here's the thing, too. We were talking about the Fanny Yuri. As you get into the base defenses, I think this is where Yuri's actually going to shine. Like you were just saying, he gets those cables, able to come in and kind of like to blast through the entire team. When he runs out of energy, get back to the base, fill up. He doesn't even need the blue buff. So he's going to be able to do that just like he has a blue buff while he's defending base. Oh man, you do see a Feathered Airstrike coming out now. Zane able to pick off Shiki right now. Yuna does take down Mobazane. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. Still 15-6 right now. We have minions crashing down at the bottom, but is this the fight that you want? Demonic Force coming and pressing in right now. We do see that the Cult Ultra comes out right now. More Demonic Force. Numenon Blast coming in. Does land on 2 members. Shark goes down to Yuna, and Basic getting taken out as well. That is 3 kills. Fried Chicken deep into enemy lines. This was a mistake. He does not want that damage. Gets taken down. That is only Hoon left on the side of the valley. So, I mean, they do put a decent amount of damage onto that bottom tower. However, still in the lead. I think that's the comfort that the valley is in. They're very comfortable being able to dive onto it, but it might be a mistake for them as they do all get killed out. They're not worried about the gold lead right now, but this is going to open it up for Vendetta. Pogi does have this Lord. We do see a Numenon Blast coming down. 2 Numenon Blast out there, but you do see Theo getting popped up. Feather Airstrike coming down. Pogi able to pick up that Lord. Shiki taking down Shark, and Hoon goes down as well. This is a problem for the Valley. That is 4 members of the Valley taken out right now. Fly Chicken is back up, but they have to answer these minions coming up. You see the Luminous Lord has started on its travel at the bottom lane, and the Vendetta right now in a great position has closed the gap and now taken the gold lead from the Valley. We see the parade of them coming in. That is 1 tower for the cost of this Lord. Already a great value. Numenon Blast coming in. Here comes the Demonic Force, followed by a Feather Airstrike. Is this going to be enough for Chicken? Still with that Demonic Force. He's trying his hardest. Yuri takes him out there as well. Basic catches the full front of that crossbow of Tang, but down goes Yuna. That huge damage from the Clint, able to go ahead and clean that up nicely. And it does look like the Valley going to go ahead and try to take out this Lord, hopefully before just, and definitely that damage from Basic, who has now come online, able to clean up that Lord before it takes the bottom inhibitor.
Wow. That was, I mean, single-handedly, Yuri is just kind of carrying Vendetta, right? Doing a lot of the work here and buying the time. I guess, again, going back to the question, what does a side lane Fanny offer your team? If you get a game like this, this is exactly what you can do. And a game where the Valley should have won this at this point, Yuri is stopping that from happening, right? And that's something that they're gonna have to work around. How do you deal with that? Look, like I mean, even Super Shark here already getting chunked really low. And anytime you're trying to find positioning, anytime you're trying to get some vision, you have a lot to deal with. So again, I think this comes down to that next Lord fight. You're still going to see Yuri putting pressure on the side lanes, especially with those turrets as much as possible. They want to at least get 1 down, if not 2. But again, it all comes down to the next big objective. And I do have to say that the Valley is still in a position to actually contest it, to fight it. But with that being said, you still have to fight against Poggy. Even if he struggled early on, at the end of the day, all he has to do for the Lord fight is drop down the lethal counter, have the retribution. If the timing is there before Mobazane, you come out winning, right? And so how do you have that advantage if you're the Valley? Well, you put pressure on Poggy. You try to zone him out, or at least force an issue where he's not going to be able to pull that off. But at the same time, how do you do that if you've got Yuri Beyblading all over your team, right? That's something that they have to work around. And at the same time, the thing about Yuna is Yuna actually same situation. The whole team on Vendetta was struggling. Yuna didn't have any kills for a while until recently. So eventually Yuna is going to be online, if not already, which would set themselves up for this fight. There's the Malefic Lord. That's what I was talking about. Eventually, Yuna's going to have the damage that they need. So now not only do they have to worry about Yuri, Yuna's got damage now. So here we go. Let's the Lord fight.
Yeah, Hoon just takes a heap of damage early. Cult Altar has been popped by Shark, who's going to be in trouble here. A feathered airstrike of the Valley, their own right now. Pops Yuna down to about half health. Dio in some trouble here. Does pop that immortality and is going to be taken out there. It's going to be a little bit of a position here. They are going to start on that Lord, but look at mid lane. Yuri with the entire team on his shoulders, putting the damage to this. Another inhibitor goes down here. We do see a feathered airstrike coming down. Is this going to be enough? Zing able to pick up this, but Super Shark gets taken out as well. Hoon getting taken down. Moba Zane taking down Yuna as well. It is a 3-for-2 trade right now. Moba Zane in trouble, does get taken out. They only have 2 members left. They do get the Lord, but it cost them 3 of their members. Not only that, but they were able to do it while Yuri was able to push the mid lane. So they are evening this out. They do still have the gold lead, and they are definitely still in this, but they're gonna have to contest with this Luminous Lord. Does the Valley have enough to close this game out?
Oh man, that's a question. Like it's a great thing they were able to grab the Lord there, but I think a similar situation, they're going to have a hard time actually assaulting the base, especially the fact that the Lord's just going to be taken care of before, you know, Hoon and Moba Zane are even up. So at that point, you know, what does this Lord even mean for them? The best thing that it could do is get that last turret in Vendetta's base, but still, I mean, you have to, let's say they were all up, I still think they would have a difficult time actually ending the game, just because, like we were talking about, Yuri, you know, in a base defense is almost unlee energy and can just wait for the moments to really steal cable in. So they probably will lose this turret here as they go in.
Yeah, you see that demonic force popping off. Pride Chicken well into the back line is going to pop that immortality. The rest of the team not in a position to go ahead and help them, but they accomplish their mission there. There are no towers left on Vendetta. Still 2 inhibitors left for the Valley. So I mean, I like that sacrifice by them. They are playing a little bit more collected here, and fortunately, before when they were trying to push into this tower, I feel like they got a little lackadaisical with that push. Decided that it didn't matter what Vendetta did, they were still going to be ahead in gold, and we see how that ended up. So I mean, just sending in Fly Chicken there, a little better than just kind of like running into that wall with your entire team. So I mean, they're still in a good position here. It just, man, maximum value right now is what Yuri is getting out of this Fanny.
Yeah, I mean, that's an understatement, right? Like, maximum effort, value, everything else. He's 13-1-2. And okay, I mean, basic has damage, right? He's got that, but it all comes down to how do they position for this Lord? At the same time, it's a great thing that the Valley has all the turrets of Vendetta's base down, because if they really want to pivot and possibly put pressure on the side lane and push it in, try to go for the back door if that's what they feel necessary, they could possibly do that. But at the same time, because Yuri is so mobile, I feel like they're going to have a hard time actually going that route. So I feel like they need to just go ahead and fight this one out, fight this Lord fight, look for position here if they can. Shark going to spot them out there. And this could just result into nothing, actually. Again, there's crucial things here, positioning and everything that both teams need to be wary of. There's a lot of immortalities too, Private, right? So that's going to be another thing to deal with, the immortalities plus that Cult Altar. But either way, I got to say, it's almost 50-50, and it just comes down to who grabs this Lord. And at the same time, even though the Valley still has 2 turrets up, they're going to have a difficult time actually just freely taking this one, because it is it's 24 minutes into the game, so it's going to take quite a team effort to take the Lord. But at the same time, you can see them actually trying to position to either get a pick off or possibly push a side lane in.
Yeah, we do see them coming down onto this blue buff. That Demonic Force is trying to chase out Fanny. Meanwhile, Mobazane trying to bait out this Lord. It's interesting that he's baiting this out without the team actually there and present. Hoon is going to go ahead and help him cover Theo. They're not even going to go ahead and put the damage onto him, but you're going to have to worry about that Numenon Blast coming. You do have a flicker on the Theo, who does land, and Mobazane able to pick up that Lord. We have a brawl here at the Lord Cave here. Yuri coming in, fly chicken with that Demonic Force, does get taken out by Yuna. The rest of Vendetta is on the chase. Mobazane and Shark trying their best to disengage from this. Hoon in a bad position right now is going to go ahead and have to use that immortality. Not sure if that's going to be enough for him. You do see that. Oh my God, it is enough. He's going to be able to dash his way to safety, but gets cleaned up by Shiki and that feathered airstrike, which puts Basic in a bad position here right now. Gets taken out by Yuri. So they get the Numenot, they get the Luminous Lord. They lose 3 again. Winning these fights, or not even winning these fights, they're able to kind of out macro, but they are losing people all around them. They have lost 3 right now. Super Shark here trying to kind of flank the position to take out these minions. He is going to get latched onto right now. That immortality is going to be activated for him. Mobazane coming in is going to be able to find an escape before that Numenon Blast hits. But right now, game 1 looking grim for the Valley. We have a parade of minions coming up. It is just Mobazane left. Is he going to be able to find the situation? Comes in with that knockout stance. He is ready, and immortality is activated, but it is not enough. Game 1 going to Vendetta.
I can hear the demons call when they do what they do, and now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gone.